Hello everyone, hi, welcome to my very first episode, and I'll be talking about something which I think is very important. Remember the word Tsundoku. This is a problem or an experience that we feel when you walk into a bookshop, can't help but buy new books, take it back home, beautifully arrange it in our bookshelf, and never ever go back to it. That's a problem that we have to avoid. So in today's video, we'll talk about 5 things that will really help you avoid or get out of the evil Tsundoku cycle. Point number 1. We really need to understand what is the real problem here before we get started with solving the problem. Let's talk about the shiny object syndrome. It's an inherent human desire to buy and be attracted to something new just because it's novel. And that's something the book publishing industry completely understands. We look at a global giant which is worth $72 billion in revenue every year, and they're growing every year too. Which means almost everything from the book cover to the style of writing to the topics decided, the author's PR, everything has been designed to kind of attract you to go ahead and buy the book, whether you need it or not, whether you can read it or not. Point number 2. Even though the global publishing industry is massive and can influence your behavior, there's a lot that we can do to kind of protect our own reading habit. I would say something as simple as a routine. Set like 30 minutes every day before you go to sleep. Get a book, read it, and before you know, all your piled up books are finished. Factor number 3. A big problem that I have noticed in myself and in other people around me, book lovers, is the fact that we don't really know what is that we need. Some of us just like the idea of reading, but we don't really know what is that and we can get the maximum out of that reading habit. It's absolutely fine to read stuff because you find it entertaining, you find it useful, it makes you smarter, it makes you wiser. Great. It's also absolutely right to expect books to be both entertaining and educating. But way before we get entertained and educated, we also need to know a little bit about what is it really looking for. Ask yourself that question. What is that you would like to educate yourself in? Point number 4. We don't have to brag about those 100 books that we have read last year. We don't have to be competitive about reading. It's a terrible idea. Reading is not a competition. It's a journey in self-discovery. The best way to approach reading is to kind of savor the sentences, note down great insights and ideas, and most importantly, implement the lessons that you learn. That's the fundamental concept of reading. Read, learn, and transform. Anything else is... And this is the last one, the 5th one, and this is something to do with sustainability. You can call it sustainable reading. I would call it revisiting old books. In your library, you still have like hundreds of books that you loved at one time and you must have forgotten them now. It's a good time to kind of reread old books. A lot of times when you reread or revisit old books, you come across new insights and new experiences which totally opens up your mind. That's a great approach to books. Just because you read a book once, it does not mean it's over. You can always revisit them. Hey, thank you so much for listening to my video. Those were 5 principles to help you deal with the Tsundoku monster. I really hope you have a great year reading the books that you love, the books that you have kind of piled up in your bookshelf. I really hope you finish them all.